Wait for it. Wait for it, and we're live. Hey, all you crazy sci-fi and fantasy fans. It's time for your daily dose of shenanigans over here at the Blasters and Blades podcast. Just a couple of nerdy veterans, a chaos coordinator, one chief shenanigator, geeking out over our science fiction passions and fantastical fantasies. A place where magic is king, the sky is the limit, and space is the place. We are the podcast that puts the fun in dysfunction. So without further ado, we're going to let our guests introduce themselves to our listeners and viewers at home. First, we've got Miss Charlie and Mr. Travis Cox.
Hi, everybody. I'm Charlie Cox. I write military sci-fi and military fantasy with a sense of humor because life can be dark. Let's embrace a little bit of humor and joy and find the positivity wherever we can. And this is my chief tech advisor and military advisor, my husband, Travis.
Yeah, so anything she gets wrong is my fault. And I mean that legitimately. I'm just a reader. I'm nobody important. I'm here to,
You're important to me.
add a little, I guess, military geek to the proceedings.
Yeah.
I think every reader is, or every author is going to tell you the readers are important because that's how they get paid. So I wouldn't say
I mean viewers, right?
I suppose this is the part where I remind everybody listening that you don't have to be an author to come on. That's just who volunteers. But if you're very passionate about a subject and you're just a nerd about things, you can come on too. They're hard to find, but we let them on. So with that out of the way, Jarrett, would you like to introduce yourself to our listeners and viewers at home?
Yes, I'm Jarrett Keene. I'm the author of Hammer of the Dogs, a post-apocalyptic adventure novel set in ruined Las Vegas. And I'm a professor of English at UNLV.
Outstanding. Do you make the kids read things that make them hate reading, or do they get to pick the cool stuff?
Oh, no. Well, I mean, they don't pick. I pick for them, and I make them read all the wonderful things from Berserk to uh, Battle Royale to Philip
Nice.
K. Dick to, all kinds of
And
fun
if
stuff.
Fantastic.
You should also make them buy your book just because. I mean, isn't that one of the captured audience things you're supposed to do as a professor?
Well, I probably should, but for ethical reasons, I have them read the
Ethics?
stuff that
I didn't know we
love.
still did that.
In a university?
Yeah, maybe when they after they read all the classics, they can move on to mine.
Oh, there you go. There you go. All right. Next, we got the outlaw author himself, Mr. Jesse James Fain.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jesse James Fain. I do go by the Outlaw Author because the branding does write itself at that point. I write sword fights, fist fights, gun fights, be that military sci-fi, military fantasy, or riding the line between urban fantasy. Anything I can squeeze a fight into that I can have some fun with, that's where you're going to find me.
All right. I had to mute because the doggo was barking, but I'm seeing that Married Life is agreeing to. No visible bruises. I don't see any limbs missing. So well done, sir. Well done.
Yeah, no, that's all the digits are still there so far.
So far, so good. All right. Then finally, we've got Mr. G. Scott Huggins.
Hi, I'm Scott Huggins, and I write epic and military fantasy. Most recently, the Wishkiller Saga for Canon Publishing. And also, I get to announce that I just signed for a new series with Raconteur Press. And that will be coming out in January. So I'm really excited about both of those things. And I write the Wishkiller Saga is billed as Flintlock Fantasy, or as I called it beforehand, Guns and Sorcery. So that's fun too. Thank you.
It's so good. Both books are amazing.
Thank
amazing.
you.
All right. And because this is a Blasters and Blades podcast, we do have to do the religion question, but we are going to make it apropos to the theme of today's topic of shotgun sorceries and all the Pew Pews. So what spell would you want to have if you're engaging in modern combat, Charlie?
Oh, you got to go with me first. Okay. No pressure.
I mean, Travis can jump in first. He's sitting next to you.
No. All right. So urban fantasy, I think I would go with like a freeze spell, not freeze as in ice, but freeze as in nobody can move, immobility spell. That way, wherever people are, they can't come at me, and that'd be easier for me to take them out. It might be cheating, but if you're not cheating, you're not trying. So there's that.
Oh, freaking standing. All right, Travis.
Ooh, boy, there's so many. Some sort of like obscuring spell, so you can break contact. Just like Kind of like think of your smoke grenade, right? But it's just opaque. There's no. Maybe
Like
have some
darkness?
projectile resistance to it. You know.
That's the peaceful option, the ability to break contact. I mean,
I thought we were doing multiple, weren't we? Or we were coming back around to that.
We're gonna come back around to that. I think.
Oh, okay. Well, it'd be
all
my
right, all
first.
right. What about you, Jarrett?
Well, let me see. Concrete at night. The streets are wet. Definitely fireball.
Fireball. You can never go wrong with Fireball.
Can't go wrong with Fireball.
It looks cool, even if it doesn't work right. It looks cool.
And it's supposedly a weak spell, but with a little bit of Molotov creativity, I'm just saying, all you need is a little bit of your booze, and you can turn every night into a firefight.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Very true.
Yeah, you don't have to be a wizard to cast that spell.
No,
Yeah,
you
now that I think
don't.
about it,
You just
yeah.
be a bartender.
That's that old meme. Just because I'm out of spells doesn't mean I'm out of shells.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Automat Kalashnikova.
Yes. What about you, Jesse?
For me, it's reverse gravity. That's always been one that I would want to be able to bust out in the middle of a combat situation, because it doesn't really matter what you're looking at that point. If you need to CQB a room and you reverse gravity in the room, everyone in that room is going to have a bad time. If you need to get rid of a tank and you reverse gravity on the tank is still going to have a bad time. So
yeah,
that's
And I thought I was cheating.
that's my pick.
Right?
especially the crew inside.
Yeah.
Okay. And you exposed the weak underbelly. I'm digging it.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Scott?
Well, I'm amazed that I got to be last and nobody mentioned this, but I'm going with my old standby teleport. That's the best way to break contact, and it doesn't matter whether it's as they say, to whom it may concern, or heading in on your address. You're gone and behind them.
Okay, I dig it. I was going to go with Fireball because Fireball is always the right answer. There's no problem that a Fireball can't cure. And if it doesn't solve the problem, more Fireballs. It's right up there with when in doubt, frags out.
Yeah.
So
Either that or more cowbell. Everything needs
more
a little
cowbell.
bit of
That is the other
more
solution.
fireball, more
Absolutely.
cowbell. Yeah.
So you need the cowbell after the frags go off to mock them.
Yes. Yes.
Or if you're the
If
fatal
you're around
electrician,
to be mocked,
you
you
throw
didn't
rubber
use
ducky.
enough frags.
Clearly. If you're the fat electrician, you throw a rubber ducky.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Quack
Quack
bang.
out.
Quack bang out. The only thing I hate is that it's a true story and I didn't think of it first.
Oh,
Right.
But we didn't do that much room clearing. That was oh crap. Other things went really, really bad if we had to do that, given my job was route security. That generally made everything else had jacked up. And we had to stay for a while. So, all right. So since we're in urban situations or modern-ish situations, what magic item would you want to have if you're engaging in activities? Charlie, I'm going to put you on the spot again, but you've had time to think about this one.
okay. So magic items. I'm gonna have to go with the classic bag of holding
Ooh.
because any weapon I might need, it's gonna be in that bag. I can pull out
Except
whatever.
you can't put certain enchanted weapons in a bag of holding because you'll sunder the universe. Don't ask me how I know.
Well, not in whatever universe I'm in because just no, I'm breaking the rules of the universe. Don't judge me. So I'm going to say bag of holding. That way,
I did that, and James Ward killed me when he was the DM.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Could you not fit an A10 into a bag of holding?
You can fit whatever you want in a bag of holding. That's the whole
It's
If
not-
it fits in the entrance.
Well, that way, all the ammo.
The entrance.
Well, think about, what's the biggest issue in most modern gunfights? It's the weight of all the ammo, right?
Oh, I know where this is coming from.
But if you throw all that in the bag of holding, problem solved.
We first got together. I always had my backpack, right? And
did.
pretty quick, she'd ask for something. I was like, if only we had this, I'd reach in my bag and hand it to her. Now I remember.
It was actually my oldest son.
So it's your Mary Poppins bag.
Bag of holding, yeah.
Ah,
What was that, JR?
It's your Mary Poppins bag.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. What about you, honey?
Oh, magical item. I don't know. Can I have a magical bayonet?
Blood makes the grass grow.
Oh, you just think, you snap it on in a rifle and just run down the side of a tank and its tracks fall off, that kind of thing. Like a miniature lightsaber, but magical. I'm not much of a
I didn't
fantasy
think about
guy,
that,
so
but
I'm
I
at a
will
loss
allow
in a
it.
lot of this.
But you are a Star Wars fan, and Star Wars is space fantasy, and
Yeah.
you're obsessed with Bayonet, so
Yeah,
I
there
think
you
it
go.
works. It's on brand.
I mean,
for
I
you.
did name my publishing imprint Bayonet Books, so I'm right there
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. What about you, Jarrett?
Let's see. Nighttime, concrete, cloak, the cloak of invisibility.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Very Tolkien.
Very Harry Potter.
Oh, that too.
Yeah.
Tolkien had it too.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh.
Tolkien did it first. You know that, right? Obviously.
Yeah, Tolkien's was more like adaptive camouflage, right?
Yeah.
And then pure invisibility.
Okay. All right. What about you, Jesse?
I hate to not have something original prepared, but I would think that the cloaking capabilities of magic far outstrip our current camouflage capabilities. So something like a ring of invisibility or something like that. I need something that either helps me to not get hurt in the first place, or I need a serious amount of healing potions. I'm a big boy. I am not high speed. I am medium speed, high drag. And so if I'm going to be getting in there, I'm more than happy to fist fight orcs, but you've got to get me there safely first. So yeah, I'd say either healing potions or some kind of ring of invisibility.
Okay, Scott.
Okay, well, since Jared already took Cloak of Invisibility, which is definitely what I was going to say, because it just goes so well with the teleport. What's better than teleporting behind somebody? Transporting behind somebody invisibly. However, I'll go the other way, and I'll say some kind of magical. I don't know if it's a ring of true seeing or magical X-ray goggles, but something that will allow me to see through the obstructions of the urban battlefield, so that when I teleport, I know that I'm not in fact teleporting in front of, e.g., an angry guy with a laser bayonet.
Angry guy with a
Where's
laser
the
bayonet.
fun in
Sounds
that?
like a cool
What
rock
angry
band.
guy with a what?
That could be your rock band name, Travis.
What?
Laser bayonet or angry guy with a laser bayonet?
Either one works. I mean, I'm digging it. You could audition for Gwar with that kind of name.
Learn to sing and play instruments, I guess.
You just gotta learn to play instruments or yell really, really loudly and sound like you want to punch somebody. I guess if I'm picking
Don't give
one,
him any encouragement.
I would either pick a weapon that the barrel cannot be overheated and the ammo doesn't run out, because then you could just keep firing, or I don't know, like some sort of active camouflage cloak, because both are important in combat. If they can't see you, they can't always hit you.
So if you had a bag of holding, right, and you just ran the belt out of the bag of holding,
well, yeah, but you need
you
the
have
bag of
extra
holding
barrels in there as well, right?
Well, see, the problem is the bag of holding, it's only what's in there, so you could still run out of ammo. So it's not, in fact, endless. It's just not something you have to carry. So you could still, in theory, run out.
So we wouldn't do a
half worth of ammo in there.
Yeah. Just
Plus, think about it. You never have to pay for ammo again.
Oh my god.
You wouldn't do a bag of holding for that. You just do the saw. It's got the nut sack. You do the nut sack of holding. And there you go.
But no, see, I don't want to have to actually resupply it. I want it to just be perpetually reloading itself magically, so I don't have to pay for the rounds. Do you know how many rounds that fires a minute and how much that would cost? No, thank you. I'm cheap. It was nice to fire when Uncle Sam paid the bills.
Yeah, you have no idea how envy I am of how much practice y'all got for free.
Exactly. So I like the idea of not having to get more rounds and pay for them, but also you don't want the barrel to overheat, because that's the other part. If you fire a lot of rounds, you'll cook off. So there's that. And camouflage is always good. They can't see you. Sometimes it's hard for them to hit you. All right. So now, since we're talking merging fantasy with modernity, what creature would you like to see in modern settings, be it race or monster? Charlie.
Well, since I have a book about a Sasquatch and I live in the Pacific Northwest, I'm going to have to go with Sasquatch, aka Bigfoot.
And you got to name him
Yeah.
Harry.
His name is Gunny in my book.
No, Harry and the Hendersons.
Yeah, I
He's
know.
Your Roos.
I watched that show as a kid too. Yeah, no, but no, Gunny in my book, he's great. He's mystical, but he's stronger than heck. He's very loyal. He can get really angry, but he also has this really cool trick where he can essentially go invisible, and he can take people with him into this like parallel state. And I think that'd be really cool in an urban fantasy type setting. So
It was
there you
so
go.
cool. You wrote 100,000 words about it.
Not quite 100,000, but I did. Yes.
All right. What about you, Travis?
Griffin.
Okay. Are you going to write about griffins now too, Travis?
I don't write.
I mean, we'll get some crowns. We'll get you going.
Yeah.
No, Griffin would be cool. I'd say dragon, but I live in the Northwest and I don't run it towards the whole state. Kind of like
Yeah,
here.
no, don't do that.
That would be bad.
Yeah.
All right. What about you,
But I like
Jared?
eagles, so that fits.
Yeah.
And the Griffin in Melissa's book is amazing.
Oh,
So
okay.
there's that. Yeah.
Jarrett.
Gargoyle. I want
Oh.
a gargoyle.
Yeah. You've answered that before. You like gargoyles. I dig it too. Did you watch the cartoon
Yes.
They were
Oh, yeah.
back in the
Oh,
day? Yes. Yeah. Me too. It was awesome. We need to see more architecture that has gargoyles.
Yes.
We
There's
should bring that
bring
back
back.
into society.
We ought to bring that back. We ought to bring back that kind of architecture too. Modern architecture just doesn't look as good.
It's boring.
So boring. So cold,
We need-
lifeless.
We need gargoyles on every fast food establishment starting now.
Absolutely. I wonder if it's just because we're not sacrificing enough virgins on altars. Is that the problem?
There was a Marvel Comics hero, or ugly hero called Gargoyle that served with the Defenders, and so I've always liked that character. Very scaly, winged, and unusual looking, and creepy. It's
Oh,
fun.
I didn't know about that one. All right, what about
Yeah.
you, Jesse?
So I actually have to give credit to a sci-fi for this. Mike Williamson wrote the Freehold series, and they had combat leopards, and I thought that
those
was
are great.
just absolutely awesome. So my fantasy answer to that, to make a combat leopard even better, would be a displacer beast. And so you've got the cat base, but with the extra arm, like tentacle weapon things and claws. And they do the blinking. They're hard to see and hard to hit. So that would be my pick for if it got to be me and a critter getting after it. I go with the displacer beast.
Nice.
All right. Scott?
All right, I'm starting to get seriously annoyed with Jarrett because he sniped gargoyle now off of me too, which is what I was going to say. And
Your scale
Scott
of
has to go
interest
first.
overlaps.
okay, yeah, he's like yeah, you put me where I always have to go last. What's up with that? Okay, all right, fine. I'll go with my Driders. I want Driders in the urban fantasy setting.
Ooh.
Because they all of a sudden they're just scuttling down the walls at you, or they've been up in the attic spinning their webs, and God alone knows how long. They're incredibly creepy, and they can tangle up things at close quarters and never be caught in the webs themselves. So there you have it, Driders.
Sounds like a spider on steroids, and no thank you. Cool.
On the flip side, we burnt down the building, but we did get the spider. So many memes.
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished, yeah.
That's a nuke from orbit situation.
So since this is, we've got some veterans on the show. We have to do this. We are recording this on the 18th of September, which is the U.S. Air Force's birthday. And there is a funny meme float. It's not actually a meme. There's a happy birthday message floating around to the U.S. Air Force that the U.S. Air Force put out. And the jet they chose to make as the background for this meme was a U.S. Navy fighter. So, Air Force.
Oh, let me. There's a lot of this going on right now. It's like a lot of the Navy pilots are posting those, and somebody made that one. It's even, if you look closer, the top of the frame is a French flag, and it's got an F/A-18. It's a Super Hornet because they have the square inlet or intakes. But yeah.
That's right up there with when the Mormon intern accidentally put Jedi instead of Jesus in one of the brochures. I mean, it's just certain mistakes you just don't make. You would think that would be on your checklist not to do.
Yeah.
But I was laughing. So once somebody pointed it out, because like I could tell the difference. I mean, I know it's not a helicopter, so that's progress. But okay. All right. And so for me, I'm a sucker for a werewolf because I like shifters in general, but werewolves are cool. So I could go with a werewolf or else if you could put them in their place. Because I think most times elves are jerks and I want to see them punched in the face. So if I can see an elf get punched in the face, I'm totally down. Or dwarves, because I like dwarves, but I don't like female dwarves with beards. I know for a while that was the thing. I'm sorry, it just feels unnatural. The female shouldn't have the beards. But if we could get dwarves, that would be cool too. So those are my 3 favorites.
So all you need to do is go to Portland. You could check most of those boxes.
Bearded women that are short? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, sure. With or without, you know.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll put that in the to-do list. All right. And we here at the Blasters Blades podcast are civilized human beings. We are no longer knuckle-dragging troglodytes. So coffee or tea, and how do you take it? Charlie, what are you drinking today?
So now that fall is around the corner, I am enjoying my coffee with cream and sugar and a little shot of some salted caramel because I don't know what it is about caramel apples this time of year, but caramel in my coffee, it's so yummy.
Okay. That's a good answer. Travis.
Coffee black. That's it.
Like your soul.
In my lungs.
That too. All right, Jarrett.
I've been experimenting. Don't judge me with sugar-free peanut butter in my coffee.
Oh, how's that been going?
Oh.
Thank you for not sniping my answer.
Yay!
Like
So how does
ever.
one make
with that.
sugar-free peanut butter? I mean, it's glucose is naturally occurring in peanut.
I found it like in Marshalls or something.
Oh,
And this,
wow.
Little half and half, little sugar-free peanut butter, and I've been having some interesting mornings with that stuff. It works.
Well, how do you get it to liquefy? Because wouldn't it just clump at the bottom?
I don't know. I should probably inspect the ingredients, but it's one of those things where I don't want to.
Sometimes it's better just not to know. Like, what is it?
Yeah.
A Twinkie?
Exactly.
It's a Twinkie.
Yeah.
Oh, was it Dawn of the Dead that ruined it? Where they were like, "Yeah, it will survive the apocalypse," and I've never looked at them the same again.
Oh, honey too, yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, honey's fresh. If it's real, you're okay.
If it's real.
It's
Well, honey lasts forever too, yeah.
right, but it's natural at least. It's not like artificial.
Right.
Yes,
All
yes.
right.
I
The
feel like we
BQ.
need to revisit this after the camera's off, and it's because there's a very infantry platoon discussion that needs to happen.
Peanut butter and coffee. I mean, I'm not against it. I would
Sugar-free.
try it. I would try it with an open mind.
I'm against it.
Yeah. I'd be willing to try it, but only if you threw in some chocolate syrup
I'm gonna
too.
look this up.
Because
You could
chocolate
have like a
peanut
Reese's
butter.
peanut butter
Yeah.
latte,
Yeah.
like with
That's what I'm
mocha.
saying.
You could mix it.
It's
I'm
a
there.
Reese's.
Right?
Reese's.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Because everything's
Okay.
better with chocolate.
Giving
Jesse.
Starbucks ideas.
So if you
To
want
paraphrase Londo Malari quoting the dying Emperor Turhan, you are all damned.
So when I worked at Starbucks to pay for grad school when I was at Villanova, we had this latte that was maple syrup latte that had so many calories. It had so much sugar. It tasted like a maple syrup on a pancake in a cup. It was delicious. It had so many calories. The American Heart Association asked Starbucks not to make it anymore. So the AMA
Wow.
took it off the menu. It was delicious. Probably not the thing you want to give your 2-year-old at night.
Protein bowl for Brimley again.
So
Wow.
yeah,
Even thinking
Starbucks
about it is
already has
disgusting.
all the crazy ideas on how to ruin your
Diabetes.
diet and kill your cholesterol. They don't really need help.
Yeah, there's that.
You made Scott disappear.
Yeah,
Oh, no,
Scott
he's
died.
hiding.
He had a heart attack and died.
Jesse,
Hot chocolate. That's always my answer. Coffee brings back some rough memories. I had a lot of night owls with bad attitudes in my family, so I've never been able to really pick up coffee. And tea tastes like dirt water, It's like just scooped up that practice field I used to play ball on and stuck it in a cup. So yeah, hot chocolate for me.
How are you living in the South if you don't like iced tea?
Because I make it the traditional Southern way, which again, I have to have Wilford Brimley rolling in his grave to drink
Absolutely, as one does.
Yeah.
Sure. Sweet
No.
tea, yes.
Well, I mean, because if you don't do it like that, they might run you out on a rail. Like they
Yeah.
might bring tar and feathering back just for you.
Well, and I also was a Coca-Cola man for a very long time, so I was properly Southern ordering the Coke.
But you are in Georgia, so do you like goober peas? For those who don't know, it's just boiled peanuts.
Oh,
There's
Roadside.
not many people that you will be able to find in the state that don't. Yes, Cajun, please. I will
Oh, yeah.
Cajun style boiled peanuts.
I like those. Those are delicious. All
Never had
right.
it.
So
Wow.
what about you, Scott? Since it's not going to be peanut butter coffee, how are you? taking yours?
Sugar-free peanut butter.
Well,
Oh,
about
sugar-free,
this about this time when I am in desperate need of a late afternoon pick me up so that I don't just fall over and sleep for 12 hours, I like my coffee iced with milk and brown sugar.
Oh, brown sugar.
Brown
Nice.
sugar.
Which is it gives it a lovely flavor addition that is not to be found with white sugar. So yeah, I was just drinking that earlier today, which is why I'm awake right now.
Brown sugar or sugar in the raw?
Either, but brown sugar for preference.
Okay. So this time of year, I haven't had my first pumpkin spice latte. Yes, I'm that kind of basic white girl, but I do love me a pumpkin spice latte. We have I forget the name. It's like Beach Coffee that goes around. It's not even a proper establishment. It's on the back of a trailer that they drive around and they sell it out of like a trailer that makes the best. They're even better than the Starbucks. And I try not to give them my money. Starbucks, I mean, they've got enough of other people's money, so I try to support local companies where I can.
Yeah.
But this time of year, I do also enjoy a hot apple cider. Sometimes people put, hard things inside of the apple cider, which adds a little bit of kick when you need it.
Oh,
and
like
you
some
can't go wrong.
Fireball?
Yes,
I cast Fireball into my coffee.
absolutely. Now you're talking. That's how you get the cinnamon.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, but
See,
that's the
I'm a
grown-up
problem
version.
solver.
That's the grown-up version. But I also enjoy hot chocolate, and of course, if I'm drinking coffee, it's the usual French vanilla because I'm a creature of habit. But there's nothing like just sitting on a cool fall evening with the fireplace outside or the fire pit or whatever, and just smoking your cigar and watching the flames and contemplating the secrets of the universe. So, if you ever want problems solved, just sit outside of a fire. You'll find all the answers. They might not be the right answers, but you will find them. There's something to be said for that. All right.
My issue is that when me and all my friends do that, they tend to destroy a bottle of whiskey while they're at it. And so the answers really don't come out right.
Well, yeah, and then you don't remember the answers, but they were great while you had them.
Yeah. Just take everybody's keys away and let them sleep it off in the yard. Problem solved.
What you really need to do is set up a camera so you can record the answer so you can watch them to mine them later for, comedic purposes.
Yeah, there you go.
Research.
I don't remember saying that, but I just remember it sounded profound at the time.
All right, so we're going to dive into the topic, but first we're going to pause for a second while we shamelessly shill for the man.
Here comes your next romp in the graveyard. In Hunters for Hire, a new urban fantasy adventure by best-selling author Jonathan Yanez, a guy down on his luck puts sign twirling and rideshare driving on the back burner to track down the supernatural for a pretty penny. Find out what happens when John Hunter enters the secret underworld. Download your copy and start listening today. Now available on Amazon and Audible.
All right. Thank you for sticking with us through that commercial interlude. And with that, we're here to talk about the topic that brought us, Shotgun Sorcery and all the Pew Pews. So since you suggested the topic and it came from your twisted, dark little outlaw brain, Jesse, do you want to introduce the topic?
Yeah. absolutely. The topic's pretty simple. Shotgun sorcery is my quick little uh, phrase when we start mixing guns and magic. You find it in urban fantasy mostly, but military fantasy is now considered maybe a separate subgenre. But I just really love mixing the modern weaponry and any kind of magic or ensorcelment. And I feel like it's a really cool topic. I feel like the tactics that are used with modern weapons overlap, and the magic just gives it a really great new twist. And we've seen it from everything to Jerry Dresden with his spell shield in one, or shield spell in one hand and a revolver in the other, to even sci-fi shows like Outlaw Star that have the caster weapon, caster rifle, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, that's it. That's the topic.
So when I was at basic training and we did the lovely bayonet course, one of the things they tell you is that this knife will save your life if you ever run out of rounds, because you stick it at the end of your rifle, and now your rifle is the long pointy thing. And I asked the drill sergeant the most profound question I had at the time, which is, what makes you think just because you're out of rounds that they are too? And Magic would answer that question for me. Of course, the drill sergeant's answer was push-ups, but I did not find answers at the bottom of the sand pit. I pushed a lot, but we got no answers. So I like the topic because it does sort of allow you to merge realism with the magic, which is why I was interested when you suggested it. Plus, there's that famous meme that says, I'm out of spells, but I'm not out of shells, with the wizard with the shotgun, which is just, it makes the rounds every so often. Larry Correa shares it a lot because, Monster Hunters, it's just glorious. So we had to. What is it about the concept of mixing magic with modernity that you guys like? And you can jump in at any order. This is free for all conversation.
Okay, I'll take that one. What really inspired me here was I always kind of wondered, magic swords, of course, are a staple of fantasy, but it always felt a little lame to me because exactly what does a sword do for you? I mean, does it swing itself? Because if that's the case, then you're just kind of along for the ride. And all of a sudden the heroism just seems a little bit problematic. But a rifle corrects your aim. A rifle tells you when there's incoming. A rifle gives you priority, prioritizes your targets for you via, you can have some kind of magic scrying scope. You can have the voice in your head that says, hey, look left, someone's drawing a bead on you. And that's essentially what happened, and that's what gun does for my main character here in the Wishkiller saga. So yeah, I just took that and I ran with it.
And that's one of the things that I really like about Scott's book and about this whole topic in general, because I'm a big 2A advocate. I love to shoot. It's good therapy. It's fun to shoot at targets. And what if my gun could tell me, hey, you need to aim a little bit more to the left. So, just kind of that, symbiotic relationship between yourself and your weapon. And if that's not magic, that sounds pretty magical to me. I think it's pretty cool.
Okay. I don't know. For me, one of the things I like is one of the critiques of Star Wars is its space fantasy. I like that about Star Wars. I like merging the science with the fantasy elements of it. So for me, like the whole concept of doing that in modernity is just kind of cool. And who hasn't had some time in their life where they didn't want to shoot a fireball at an annoying teacher, or the guy in front of them who didn't go fast enough at the green light, or whatever. So it's kind of fun in your head, give you that imagination going in real life and just kind of push it forward. So
or the guy that pulls out of we live on a country road. The guy that pulls out of his driveway right in front of me when I'm going 55 and he's going 40. It's like, there's nobody behind me. Why would you jump out in front of me and park your freaking car in front of mine? Why?
In
Why would you
science
do
class, we learned this is called Darwinism, survival of the fittest.
Yeah. And if I had a fireball, he would not have survived. So there is that.
What about you, Jared? What is it about the concept that you like?
I don't know. I'm just thinking of the times I've encountered it in comics and movies. I don't know, I would consider like something like Army of Darkness to be in that mold. I don't know. There's something about the heavy battle axe and the tactical shotgun that just feels right somehow. The gritty and the sophisticated, the concrete and the cloak. I don't know. There's something. It feels. I don't know. It just feels right in the, let's just say, peanut butter and chocolate way.
So you're saying, are you equating the battle axe with the shotgun?
No, I mean just the two of them together.
Oh, together, yeah, as a companion. I was thinking like the analogous to olden times with the battle axe, short range weapon, heavy hitting.
Yeah, I wasn't
Takes a
thinking of that.
moment to get it back in play, depending on the
Mhm.
type of shotgun, but the impact at close range is
I
Devastating.
feel like
handy.
early RPGs kind of encourage that, when Gamma World and Boot Hill and D&D were kind of like all out there, kind of doing stuff, and you'd see those modules that would encourage crossovers. It's just a cool mashup, a cool crossover, and I love that stuff. It's like when those What If comics, when What If Conan the Barbarian was transported to New York City, 1980s. And then you'd see he's Conan holding a 357, pointed at the reader on the cover of the comic. That was just I don't know, stuff like that really intrigued me, and that's why I think this is such a cool topic subject.
What if fiction is great? What if this
Mhm.
happened? What if that's the basis for alternate history or whatever? Marvel's done a lot of those what ifs. They did a bunch of them on Disney Plus with the Sea or whatever. I'm not much of a Marvel guy, but those were really good.
Captain Britannica as opposed to Captain America. That was a fun one. I'm a
Yeah, Captain.
Mhm.
Yeah, Captain. No, what was it? Agent.
Agent Carter.
Yes, Captain Carter is what they called it.
Right, but I
So much about the shield.
yeah,
Yeah.
Not those shields.
because that's how much
Mhm.
nerds we are. Yes.
Yeah, and it's always fun to do that. And you think about the shotgun if you mix that with magics. Like at one point in time, the Geneva Convention wanted to outlaw shotguns because the Canadians in the trenches of World War I. So I keep imagining if we let the bearded ones out with a magical shotgun, what that might look like when we had to, fulfill the old "it ain't a war crime the first time" mantra and see what they could do with it, because it would be interesting, scary but interesting.
It was. I'm gonna let my real nerd out here, Jay. It was the Germans against the Americans. We showed up with the M1897 French gun, which will slam fire. If you don't know what slam fire is, you hold the trigger to the rear, and every time we pump it, it goes. And we also put the I can't remember the model number. It's the same bayonet that put on the 03 Springfield, which is a sword, basically. It's a short sword. So these corn-fed dudes from Iowa and the Midwest hopping in a trench with a slam fire shotgun, murking dudes and stabbing.
So I've actually seen first person stories of complaints about the Canadians, which tells me that both sides were doing it, which makes it even better.
So the Canadians did something even nastier. And if you will recall, there's a whole conversation derived from it or based on it from Firefly. So, I forget all the characters' names anymore.
Was it the apple scene?
The apple scene where she always her and Mal, Zoe and Mal always carve their apples. There was an instance in the trenches with the Canadians against the Germans, and they were talking. The trenches lines were that close, and it's like, oh yeah, we were hungry, so they threw them like some fruit and stuff, and they're like, oh hey, can we have some more? And then some jerk or brilliant guy, however you want to think about it, put explosives in them and started chucking them over.
And here I thought that was just fiction in Firefly.
There is
Yikes.
truth is stranger than fiction almost every time.
Oh, there is that.
That's the Canadian. That's I couldn't even conceive of doing that.
Yeah.
Just like the first guy that's doing an aerial reconnaissance in the biplane and is like, it'd be really cool if I drop some pineapple grenades over here.
Yep.
But yeah,
you got a service revolver and he's over there.
Yeah, the first
that's how fighter
plane.
combat started. It's like one, they were just reconnaissance for the longest time. The one guy was like, "Hey, I'll just shoot at the guy flying by," and then they're starting to figure out how to put machine guns on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
can see that,
But Jesse, does with shotguns and sorcery, does one character wield both in a typical story, or is it like those, like there's two characters, one handles the shotgun, one handles the sorcery? I'm trying to figure out which protagonists kind of employ both.
So for me, it's so all of this kind of ties into a project that Charlie's a part of too, that I've been working on. It's called The Holy Diver in the Midnight Sea. And we've already talked about a lot of the inspirations for that project. Shadowrun was a huge inspiration, like TTRPGs. And so I would say that there's a balance between the two. But I've seen characters across comics and fiction and everything else that did some version of both. Generally, the character that relies more on brawn and guns is going to be one character type, and then your ancient old wizard keeps his backup revolver.
Right.
Normally, because there's this feeling that magic, and this is prevalent in Shadowrun, this is prevalent in lots of IPs, that magic kind of shorts out technology. But for me, I just always thought magic was magic could augment anything, and it's we see it almost happen with modern firearms. I can work almost any modern gun, and I'm not even a soldier, but I know how they work. I know mag releases, buttons, right? I know where all that is. But I don't know how to build one. That's a whole different level of nerd. So that's kind of what I equate it to, is once we start doing things like ensorcelled machine guns, we've got this amazing new way to make stuff better. Fantasy was always cool because of the magic. Being in the medieval times is not cool. There's no toilet paper, there's no running water unless you're by a river. You're going to die of dysentery. This place sucks. But the moment you give people magic swords and armor and wizards and all that, all of a sudden this less like, yeah, I'd live there. Like, you don't think about it anymore. But you bring magic into the modern day, it still makes stuff better. Like, this is still like the possibilities are endless. And so the whole point of that project, the whole point of all this fiction that I love, that is shotgun sorcery fiction, is that we're mixing it all together and everybody takes little bits and pieces.
Well, one of the things to kind of riff off of that I was thinking of, and you play right into it, is, if magic makes everything better, there's so much we don't have to do from a technology standpoint. I mean, I'm thinking shotguns and sorcery. You know what we don't need anymore if we've got magic? Rifling. You enchant the shotgun shell so that every pellet seeks something. Magic missile, bitch. Boom. And like, I mean, that's how magic missile works in D&D. You don't aim. You just fire in the general direction, and each projectile seeks out a target. Well, heavy double-lock buckshot, all of a sudden, I've killed a platoon with one shot.
Scott, you're giving a whole new definition to spray and pray.
Yeah. There you go. Bless the Lord, this thy shotgun.
I like the idea.
I will note that I did not cuss.
I appreciate that. I like the idea of mixing them up, like maybe have magical enchanted items with the warrior type, but having a separate kind of class almost. I mean, because we subdivide skill sets in the military for a reason, because you can be good, okay at everything, but you can't be really great at it. But if you specialize, it allows greatness. So if you want someone who's really good, it's going to take some practice, which means you're gonna sacrifice the time you're practicing on skill A where you're not practicing on skill B. So to answer your question, Jared, I like the idea of them almost being two classes or two, ratings or whatever.
0351s, assaultmen in the Marines. They're not true demolitions experts in the minutia of how all this works, but they learned how to blow stuff up good enough to make it work in the field. Like, there's all these balances that happen where it's like, I'm the guy that brings the rocket launcher just in case. And I feel like that was something that could easily work into military fantasy or anything like that. It's like, oh yeah, we have, instead of a designated marksman, we've got the squad designated sorcerer. And that's, So yeah, I think it would definitely work that way if we were doing it in real life.
Well, that reminds me of the concept of like the battle mage, where you've got all your, you've got your front line and you've got all your armsmen and your swordsmen and all that. And then in the back of it, you've got the mage. And so the mage is the one casting the spells, calling the lightning and the fireballs and everything else. But your front line is, your swordsmen and your orcs and your shock troops, essentially. And having that balance of both, I think is really cool. You were going to say something, honey?
No, you actually said almost exactly what I was going to say.
I did not.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Are you two reading each other's minds again?
We've been married a minute.
A little bit, yeah.
And she listens when I talk. It's weird.
I'm kind of a sponge. Yeah.
Okay. So do you think that when we say modern, we basically mean real world, right? But modern could be anything from, what Scott writes, where it's quasi, flintlock era to, magic with biplanes in World War One. Do you have a preferred era when you'd like to see the mixing of modern and magical?
I would say World War One is really fun. Like that era, World War One, World War Two. I'm sorry if I cut you off, Charlie.
Oh, you're fine. Go ahead.
That era, there's enough modernization. And this is the thing about magic. Like any kind of magic, it would take some kind of equivalent energy exchange, knowledge, something, right? It's a rare thing. We always look at magic as the special rare thing. And so that industrialization still enables the common man and the common soldier to make a big impact. But at the same time, the dudes that know the special stuff can really kick it into gear. And so once you have the assembly line and you have the magic assembly line and those big, large-scale wars and conflicts kick up, that's really a great time to start introducing crazy new inventions, because that's what happened in real life. We figured out all kinds of tanks, true machine gun warfare. All those things were learned in that era. I mean, with some other smaller scale conflicts too, like the Boer War and stuff like that, or the But my point is that era of time is really where all that pops up.
Did you ever read Larry Correa's Hard Magic series?
Oh, I love that one.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
That's one of my favorites he's ever written.
Yeah, kind of similar concept.
You're muted if you were speaking, Jarrett. I saw your lips moving, but I didn't hear anything.
Oh, I was just thinking of Hard Magic, and I don't know. I know it's not exactly what we're talking about, but Hellboy to a degree is I don't know. I just feel there's something Shotgun and Sorcery like about that whole setup. I think the Nazis with their so-called occult fascination, that makes it really an interesting era. But World War One, you have all those trenches, the wire, the mustard gas. I can see a scene where the chemical attack is here. It's wafting over the trenches, and then like a wizard just sends it right back to where it came from. I don't know. There's just something really cool about World War One. I agree.
Well, you think somebody, I can't remember who was talking about it. It wasn't very long ago. I saw it on a reel or TikTok or something, that how most fantasy as we view it now is medieval.
Yeah,
more or less, the Middle Times, knights and all that. And then, but that World War One period really kind of bridges that gap, because you started the war with the Brits legitimately did a cavalry charge against machine guns.
Yeah.
And then it went downhill from there. And then
weren't the French still in dragoon uniforms at one point? Like they still had like the whole like big hat and
the cuirass and all that.
Yeah,
maybe I know the Polish did it. They did the last one. The Polish did it the last one in World War II. They're actually doing pretty well until the tanks got turned around. I mean, they didn't have any choice. I'm not knocking on them guys, but they got it in the rear and they're messing stuff up. But the Panzers got turned around.
Well,
and, they were wearing the cuirass and all that.
I mean, I know the French had this big stink right before World War I when someone pointed out that red pants on the battlefield was probably not a good idea for modern warfare. And the French military establishment threw a shit fit. Le pantalon rouge, c'est France. You can't have France without the red trousers. So,
Well,
I mean, when they were fighting for their pants, they weren't surrendering. So give them the victory.
See, and I heard, and I'm hoping this is a joke, that the reason that their pants are red is so that when they get shot, they don't notice, and then they're less likely to flee and run away. I'm hoping it's a joke.
Well, I thought that was the theory with the British redcoats. The blood wasn't as because there wasn't a whole lot you could do if you took a musket round through center mass back then. So less panic. The guy it just looks like people fell down.
Yeah, maybe I got it wrong, but it was something about the clothing and the.
Oh, you're thinking about the brown pants from Deadpool.
Yeah. That's when Hitler was told about that.
Brown pants
Bring me my brown pants.
I love those movies.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing is some of the warfare that you saw, if you're speaking specifically, Jesse, about World War I, like the mustard gas and stuff, what that looks like when you make that magical and you throw in that magic missile so it seeks out the opponents and you don't have to worry about the breeze changing directions.
Mm-hmm.
Then it gets really nasty real quick.
Well, we mentioned Larry Correa earlier. I don't know if you guys have ever read Servants of War. It's him and Steve Diamond, and it is almost exactly magical World War I. It's a fantastic book. It's honestly one of my favorites. Steve says he's working on the second one. Somebody go bullwhip him if you can, but it was really good.
Okay.
Travis is adding it to his Kindle now. Excellent.
I'm just wondering how I missed this one.
Okay, so what about mixing we've talked about the weapons and the magic. What about mixing in fantasy races and monsters into your fiction? How do you see that playing out with the concept of the shotgun sorcery?
Well, I mean, one of my favorite things, I did a trilogy for Chris Kennedy Publishing in which it's sort of technology versus magic. And the reason the good guys survive is the enemy has like between the wars level aircraft carriers and battleships. But on the other hand, the good guys have dragons. So, when a dragon latches on to your P-26, that does not go well for your P-26, no matter how much, or your Devastator torpedo bomber. It's like, well, so much for that aircraft because the dragon's a lot stronger.
But the dragon doesn't have the Browning gun. The dragon doesn't have the Browning gun, though.
That is the other side. Yeah.
So, what about you, Travis? Charlie, you got ideas on the fantasy creatures?
So I just finished a fun story where the creature is a Bulgasari, which is from Korean mythology, and they eat metal. And every time they eat metal, they grow and they get bigger. So imagine your poor soldiers going up against this Bulgasari, who's also impervious to bullets. And whenever they shoot him, nothing happens. The bullets spang off. And then he attacks them and bites the muzzle brake and half the barrel off of their rifle. Then what are they supposed to do? That was really fun to play with. That was a fun one.
I don't like that idea.
Have you been mining my nightmares?
No, not
the gun doesn't work, or the bullets just like fall off.
Oh, I've had those nightmares. Yep. Yeah, those aren't fun. Yeah, when you point a revolver at somebody and then the bullet just kind of like drips out like a leaky faucet.
And then if you take it next steps, aside from the fantasy creatures, if you have magic weapons, that means like offense and defense are a yin and a yang. They developed point counterpoint. So if you have magic bullets, what does magic armor look like? Because you're going to develop one to counter the other, right? So like, do you have magical sappy plates to stop the magical bullets? And does the magic, like, it's only rated for elemental bullets and not, whatever, like how do you rate a sappy plate at this point?
That's where the fireball comes in, because the fireball winks out the enchantment on the armor. At least that works in Fey Wars. So
Yeah, it starts getting interesting and really complicated, and then you have to really think about the rules for your universe so you can at least be consistent.
Yes, that's important.
So I know all of us here have written something like this where we mix the two, but have you, Jarrett? Have you
No,
mixed
but
them yet? I know you're a fan of it.
no, I've never tried it. Now I want to. I mean, I've in the second with the sequel to Hammer of the Dogs, I've wanted to introduce supernatural elements to the desert combat environment. But I don't know, at the same time, I keep thinking of Clash of the Titans and that Medusa, the severed Medusa head, and just kind of like holding it in front of like a line of soldiers and then turning them into stone, just mowing them down after they've turned to stone with like a heavy machine gun. And that'd be really cool. I've seen a movie in my head. Yeah, Medusa would be my fantasy creature. Um,
Nice.
I think that would work well in some kind of shotgun and sorcery environment.
Well, I've got a more medieval fantasy. The one from Racketeer Press does feature Medusa. She uses a telescope.
Oh,
Wow.
So would Medusa work if you're not looking at it directly, if you're looking at it through a mirror or, say, a night vision goggles?
oh,
Ooh, I think that would
Night
depend
vision
on
goggles are a good question.
Yeah.
That's a good question because I remember, if my memory stands correct, Perseus. I'm right. Perseus used the reflection on a shield, if I remember correctly.
yeah.
So reflections, I think the answer is that doesn't work. But like night vision goggles is that a reflection? You're still looking at the thing. You're just looking through the goggles. So I think that's an interesting question. Yeah.
So what?
Refractors work, reflectors don't.
So the night vision goggles are amplifying the ambient light to give you vision. So
and they make it worse.
Yeah.
No, help me out here, JR.
Faster.
Remember, if you turned them off, you couldn't see anything, right? Even
Correct.
in daylight. You're not actually it's the light's coming at you indirectly.
Okay.
Mirrors or something like that.
So what it really comes down to is how the equipment works. If you're looking at line of sight, no. If it's magnifying it like a scope, no. If it's got any mirrored break to reflect, then you're good.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And if you've got a cat, what does the cat do? Is that a +1 in combat?
Yes.
Okay. If you're listening, dear listener, he's got a cat that just joined the show. So
the cat tends to join wherever he's not wanted. So it worked.
So I guess
He's
that's
very
like
cute.
10 points for Team Huggins or something. I don't know. Yeah. I've never watched Harry Potter. All right. So I've never read. Yep. So those books were coming out when I was already an adult doing adult things. I didn't have time. I was doing the college thing. I was busy. And then and Stephen King both had some things to say about troops in Iraq when I was physically boots on the ground about us, study hard, don't be an idiot or you'll be in Iraq. And I hold a grudge. I mean, my family's half Scottish, half German. I don't forget things. I will probably die holding grudges. And it's just, I'm okay with that. So I've never gone back to revisit it.
Okay. That's fair.
But also, I was already too old, so I wasn't exactly your target audience. And I tried to watch the movies, but I fell asleep.
All right.
But the kids were young, so I mean, was the movie bad, or was the kids just wearing us out? It's kind of hard to say.
Yeah.
The struggle is real.
The struggle is real, exactly. So this sounds like a topic that we weren't going to be able to cover in exactly one sitting because we're already at an hour and we're just scratching the surface, batting ideas around. And I definitely think we want to revisit this one because it's fun. So we're definitely going to get the gang back together with some more targeted and narrowed questions. But as we bring this to a close, is there anything you guys want to add to this conversation as we wrap this up?
Oh, this is a really fun topic, and I look forward to the sequel. So, yeah.
Shotgun Sorcery 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. Excellent.
All right. Any other closing thoughts?
Oh, I've got a reading list now. Thank you.
You're welcome. We happy to feed the addiction. All right, Charlie, how might we find you on the wild interwebs?
I'm at charliecox.net and charliecox.com. Notice how Charlie is spelled. If you put an E there, I don't know where you're going to end up on the internet, so be careful. I'm also on all the socials. I've got a Substack and a fledgling YouTube channel, so come find me, follow me, and send me a friend request. And
All
you'll
right.
find him too.
Travis does not have a great internet presence because he's not an author, but he wants you to go buy his wife's books so they can get new shoes or something, whatever they do with their money.
Please. Yes, please.
More bullets. There you go.
Come to Vegas.
Bullets are always good.
Bullets are always good. So what are you writing at the moment, Charlie?
Well, as I said, I just finished a short story for an upcoming anthology. I have another short story that I'm working on, and then I'm diving into the project that Jesse mentioned earlier in this episode. So I've got a few things on my plate. And then after I'm done with that, then it's time for the sequel to my Fate Wars novel.
Oh, outstanding. Jarrett, how might we track you down on the internet? And then what are you working on at the moment?
You can find me at jarrettkeen.net and on Instagram, Facebook, author Jarrett Keen. And I am writing a superhero horror trilogy for Dark Wolf Books at the moment, set in Las Vegas around Area 51 and all the spooky places in and around Nevada. So it's a Creech Air Force Base, all that. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, that sounds fun.
So what was that area like when they were doing the Storming Area 51 event a couple of years ago? Were you paying attention to that?
I was. It was, I mean, from afar,
Obviously, you weren't there for legal reasons.
It was very interesting, but more interesting perhaps might be those kind of Mad Max post-apocalyptic gatherings that they have out in the desert here in Nevada that I think they're really fascinating. So I like people cosplaying as the Road Warrior and talking to them and learning about why they do what they do. So I've got a lot of that in the book as well.
Sean Connery showed us the way as a leather mankini. That is the way you write out the post-apocalypse.
With a Webley revolver.
Absolutely.
I have the Webley.
I mean, he's British. It's kind of required, right?
Yeah.
You haven't heard of Wastelander Weekend, JR?
No, I have not, but now I want to go.
Okay.
I mean, they might outlaw it if I show up in a mankini, but
you're all invited. So
all right. So I earned my living as a reverse stripper. I start off naked. They pay me to put my clothes back on. So maybe I've got my my next venue.
That's what Las Vegas needs. Some reverse strippers.
All right. What about you, Jesse? What are you writing, and how can we find you?
You can find me at outlawauthor.com. That is going to get you to all the other socials. Substack is one of the biggest ones for me. I'm on X. I have a personal page on Facebook. You're welcome to add me, but that's very much more unfiltered thoughts. Lots of heavy metal, gunfire, and tattoos. If you don't want those things, don't show up. As far as what I'm working on wrangling all the cats for the Holy Diver in the Midnight Sea and figuring out all of the back end on that, because that is my responsibility now. And then I'm also working on a couple shorts that they're kind of going to stay secret because I don't know if they're going to get accepted or not, and I don't want people to be looking for them if they're not actually taken. We just had Warhamster come out, so that's my newest release. And eventually the full-length novel for Holy Diver is going to be completed. I am working on that slowly as well.
All right. And last but certainly not least, Mr. G. Scott Huggins with his cat.
Oh, okay. Well, I am working on Wish Killer 3 and trying to get that out there as soon as possible. You can find me on gscotthuggins.com. I also have a Substack, and I'm on all the socials. Join my Facebook group called Scott's Fort. We have a lot of weird questions, weird discussions, and buy my books or the cute little kitty will be sad. Okay, so there we go.
No pressure.
No pressure. All right. And I'm actually writing, Holmes asked me to write a short story for his Fate Wars anthology. So I was going to write it with Jenna Ray because we do some co-writing together. and we're going to go back to our reboot and the audience overlap. So we thought it would be fun, but she thought it was too dark for her audience because, I mean, maybe
it can be dark. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so I played rugby in college, and one of the teams we played against, I think it was Georgetown, when you'd kick the ball in rugby match and you'd run down the field, you generally run down with a chant. And at the time, this is, dinosaurs were roaming the world. It wasn't quite as sensitive. So they would run down the field that they were going to, I can't even say this on YouTube. Our pillage and burn, eat babies was what they chanted.
Wow.
And so there was some of the eating babies involved in this short story, but they die. They bad guys pay for it with their lives. So I mean,
as they should.
With their lives.
I mean, but it's a post-apocalyptic. You can't have an end of the world without tragedy. The end of the world is a tragedy, right? So it's kind of like the theme is kind of required.
I used to think that. I'm not sure it's a tragedy anymore.
This is true, but I have it on firm authority from a guy with a medical degree in psychology, mostly my shrink, but whatever, who's getting picky, that I am not normal in that regard, and maybe the Army warped me just a little bit. Maybe. Hypothetically.
Well, when I mentioned earlier how I was drinking my coffee this fall, just to specify, I meant this season, not as in the collapse of society as we know it.
Yes, and we would like to keep
potato.
We would like to keep those books in the fiction section. Please don't tempt fate.
Yeah, I am not a prophet. Please no.
All right, so I am working on that one. I haven't titled it yet. And now after we had this conversation, I kind of want to write the idea of like squad designated sorcerer just sounds amusing as hell to me because I was a squad designated marksman in my rifle squad. So that sounds fun. This is the part, dear listener, where I remind you to please be kind and speak your mind on the reviewing platforms. Your reviews help the right readers find the right book, so do your part. It really does matter. You can find us on our Linktree at linktr.ee, Linktree/Blasters and Blades Podcast. Again, Linktree/Blasters and Blades Podcast. Again, you can find our BitChute, our Rumble, our YouTube, our TikTok, our Twitter, our Spotify, our Discord, our Blasters and Blades Facebook group and Facebook page, our email, blastersandbladespodcast@gmail.com. Again, blastersandbladespodcast@gmail.com. For professional purposes only, people, save the shenanigans from Madam Stabby Stab over there on the Instagram, Twitter, and the email. You can support the show by going to buymeacoffee.com/AuthorJRHandley. Again, buymeacoffee.com/AuthorJRHandley. Be sure to put in the comment section that it is for the podcast, and I promise I will keep my co-hosts duly caffeinated. They will drink that coffee brand coffee till it pours out of their pores, and then they drink it. No, that didn't work as well. But no earwax was involved this time, so I guess that's progress. I will say I can guarantee you 100% coffee brand coffee will not put peanut butter in your coffee. 100% guarantee it. So, there's that. Unless Jeremy's listening, and then maybe he's taking notes, and that'll be the next round of K-Cups. I don't know. But I will say it is roasted in the U.S. by American citizens, so you are shopping locally. And if that really does make a huge difference. If you want to support the ecosystem, forget all the special boxing and the wrapping paper and all of that. The best thing you can do is shop local. It travels less. You need less preservatives. So, the more you can do to keep things contiguous to you, the better the world is. And with that, I will climb off my soapbox and say, thank you for spending some of your precious time with us. For my crazy co-host, I am J.R. Handley, and this was the Blasters and Blades Podcast. We'll be back next week at the same time, where we'll indulge our love of nerd culture, cheesy jokes, and all things that go boom. You like how that outro, I say my crazy co-host like I'm the sane one? Have you noticed?
Yes.
Everybody
yes, we noticed.
I just wanted everyone to notice that. In case you weren't noticing, I was noticing you not noticing. And with that, we're going to hit the end button. Thank you all for coming on. I had fun.
Yeah, thank you.
We all noticed, Mr. Bond.
And you're stroking the
I was
cat.
waiting for that, Scott.
Scott, you're doing the Inspector Gadget bad guy thing right now, and I'm digging it.
Yeah. Next time, Gadget. Next time.